Everybody, welcome back to Lettermen Row. It's BuckIQ, and that guy over there, you know him, Robert Landers, branching out from just being on Thursday night with Weekend Kickoff, lending his expertise again to the film breakdown. Baby, I asked you where you wanted to go after these first couple of weeks and who you wanted to break down. You actually wanted to do all the defensive tackles. We'll get to that. Tommy Togiai, though, has been a man on fire for these first few games. What has been the most impressive part about his game?
I think the most impressive part about his game right now is the fact that he's getting high production, especially sack production at the nose guard position. You know, the nose guard position is it's the most unglorified position on the D-line. You know what I mean? It's like you do the dirty work, take on the double teams. You got to deal with the zone blocks. Like, yeah, we got the easy, I ain't gonna say the easiest reads. It's zone right, zone left, double team. Simple. But it's not that simple. You know what I mean? So I feel like the way that he's been playing is really starting to glorify the nose guard position. And, you know, he's playing at a very high level, especially coming from a situation last year where he was kind of a role guy, you know, backing up me and Davon and trying to soak up as much of the game from the two of us as he could. So now he is the guy. And I feel like he is doing his job day in, day out, game to game, and he's getting better each week.
You've long been talking about him, you know, last year, 2 years ago, about how strong he was, and maybe it was a technical thing, maybe it was learning the intricacies of the position. I don't know. You can speak on it better than I can, but you know, what was it that he needed to do to take that raw strength and then become that dominant force on the field?
It's just experience, man. This is one of them things where, you know, when Tommy came in, you know, he was young, and the best way to learn how to play the game at that level is by getting reps. You know, one thing Coach Meyer used to always preach is you get two types of reps. You get game reps and mental reps. And mental reps, yes, are critical, but they're not game reps. And the more reps you can get, the easier it is for you to slow the game down, and you start to get a better understanding of the game as a whole. So I feel like the biggest thing with Tommy right now is he's actually playing a lot of football, and he's had the opportunity to play a lot of football to where he's able to excel. He's able to take the weight room and the classroom to the field. And you see it week to week. He's performing at a high level.
I know you're not jealous of these sack opportunities, are you?
Come on, man. I can't be jealous. I look better on a week-to-week basis when I play, so we good.
Sure, nobody can argue that at all. But BB Landers breaking down now one of his former teammates. He's got 3 sacks, and that's not, as BB said, what we're always going to talk about with these guys at that nose tackle position. But if you get them, we're going to break them down. So let's roll the tape.
Yes, sir.
All right, BB. So we've talked about this before a couple times. I mean, you're not always going to be expected to get these sacks when you're coming from that nose position. And, you know, 3 in a season might be good. He had 3 at Penn State. So we're going to break them all down. And it starts always with Coach Jay. I know enough. I've been around you guys long enough to know it's all about the get off.
Always. As you can see, you know, Tommy's get off is phenomenal. The whole D-line as a whole, their get off is great. You know, to create a new line of scrimmage. Tommy in particular, I feel like he was the first one off the ball, which I always take pride in. But you see, the biggest thing right now with Tommy is he was able to create separation between the center and the guard. Naturally, he's supposed to be double teamed in the way that they're doing their slide protection. Haskell has the one-on-one backside, which typically, especially in Coach Jay's mind, is if you get a one-on-one, you got to win it. And as a nose guard, that is our job, is to occupy 2 offensive linemen. But Tommy does a great job of getting off of the ball and creating separation, getting the guard and the center on 2 separate levels. And you'll see the A-gap opens up just enough to where he's able to get in there, and is all she wrote. He's too strong after that. There ain't nothing you can do with him.
Yeah. I mean, especially when you get that double team, that's one of the reasons why you've always talked about you're not supposed to get these sacks. But, I mean, this is just unreal, just shedding this block and fighting through it. He's so quick when he gets through it. It's just remarkable to watch him because the double team doesn't even slow him down.
Yeah, if you run that back a little bit too, this goes back to what I said on the show last Thursday, was just watch how Haskell and Tommy complement each other. It goes from, at the end of the day, you know you got to keep your rush lanes. And one thing that we always preach is if one person closes the pocket, the other person has to make up for that rush lane. You see Haskell comes from the A gap, Tommy goes from the B gap, then he goes back to the A as Haskell goes back to the B. And they do it in unison. It is perfect.
It's hard to argue with that result, especially in a big game like that against Penn State, and just finish, put him on the ground. I know that's the goal. This is another example of sort of like, Devon was saying last year, I know that, well, he can't worry about the sacks because sometimes that's just where the play goes. Maybe someone will flush him. Like, this isn't something that Tommy does except remain aware.
So this sack right here by Tommy is typically what you will see from a nose guard. This is what we call the Coach J likes to call the crumbs. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, your biggest job is you push the pocket, and at some point in time, especially when you get double teamed and you jammed up in there, you can't really work anymore. So you gotta fall back a little bit and kind of see where the flow of the ball might go, where the quarterback could potentially pop out at. Tommy does a great job. He has great football instincts, and as you see, he picks up the sack. That's a big crumb, but he got it.
Right? New line of scrimmage, 2 yards in the backfield, like right away.
Always, always. If not, Coach J will be Santa Claus in them till the sun come up.
Pete Warner, he's going to regret letting that get away. But you're talking about snatching up crumbs. Like, no nose tackle is going to worry about that coming. That's how you eat.
Hey, this is how I look at it. Sharing is caring, Pete. We appreciate you, brother.
There's a good example of this coming up for number 3 as well. Like, and Tommy, man, it's just crazy to watch his quickness. But this is the one. I felt like Jonathan Cooper maybe got shortchanged here. But, again, I know you're not going to complain about it going to 72.
Nope, sure am not. Because look, if you watch from the beginning, number 1, Tommy's the first one off the ball. Beautiful thing. Number 2, just watch how he pushes the pocket. This is a great situation of Tommy ends up getting a one-on-one, and he takes great advantage of this one-on-one. And just watch how he technically stays in his rush lane, but he's creating more and more momentum, and he's putting the quarterback in what we call the umbrella. We make that pocket real small. We make his windows real small, and that pressure after a while get to you. I'll give Coop some props because he gives me some of that pressure on the backside, but that's all Tommy.
And this looks like, too, another part of it that Tommy can stay on the field because this is maybe it's not a true rushman package. It looks like Baron Browning on the other side, but you have Tyler Friday kicking inside to the 3 technique. So this is a pass rush situation late in the game, 2nd and 10. The fact that Tommy is out there at all tells me that Larry Johnson believes that he can supply some of that pass rush from inside.
Oh, big time. Tommy has a great pass rushing skill set. Like, his toolbox is full. A lot of people kind of get his game a little misconstrued because he is so big. He does play nose guard. And like I said, him and Haskell really holds it down in the middle on 1st and 2nd. But Tommy has a great 3rd down skill set.
It's working. You can't argue with the results. Buckeyes are 3-0. Silver Bulls are flying, and the Rushmen are living up to that standard that BB Landers helped create over the last couple of years. Robert Landers, appreciate your insight as always, my friend.
I appreciate y'all for having me. I will see you Thursday.
All right, we'll see you next time. Lettermen Row, BuckIQ. For BB, I'm Austin. We'll see you then.